I am back with Brightside Riddles and Puzzles. It is for $6.39 out of $7.99. It is published by and developed by Cupid Games SA, and it came out on September 14th. And this is also available on Xbox, not Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch.
Mr. Morrison was the owner of a small company. Only 4 people worked there. One day, he came to the office and didn't find his favorite slippers. He always put them on while working. The man searched everywhere and finally spotted them on the roof of the building. Mr. Morrison was furious. He entered the office and started to question his employees. Daniel said, "I don't even know where you keep your slippers." Andrew said, "I'm terrified of heights. I have never climbed up there." Sandra said, "I'm wearing high heels today. I can hardly walk in them." Emily said, "I respect you too much to do it to you." One of the employees is lying. Who is it?
I don't know. Him?
It's Andrew. He said he was afraid of heights. But on his table, there's a photo in which he's skydiving with a parachute. Uh-oh.
I got that right.
Boyfriend proposed to her and presented a beautiful diamond ring. The girl was afraid of losing it. That's why she kept it in a box on her vanity table. Once, after a long and difficult working day, the girl came home and went straight to bed. When she woke up, the ring was gone. Melissa called the police. They asked 3 suspects, Melissa's roommate, her best friend, and her neighbor, what they had been doing the night before. Helen, Melissa's roommate for the last 3 years, said Melissa had indeed looked very tired. She took the tea Helen made for her and went to her room at 10 p.m. Helen went to bed shortly after. Eric, Melissa's best friend, said he had come to visit Melissa at about 11:30 p.m. The girl was already sleeping, but he saw a jewelry box lying open on the table. It was empty. Eric was surprised and left immediately after that. Brenda, the neighbor, said she wanted to borrow a book from Melissa, but when she called her, the girl didn't answer. So Brenda decided not to bother her so late at night. The police soon realized one of these people was lying. Who was it?
It has to be A? I'm not sure.
It was Eric. He was only asked what he had been doing the evening before, but he mentioned the jewelry box. He must have known the ring was missing because he took it. A group of friends went camping. They found a beautiful place in the forest near the river. They were planning to spend a week there. But on the 3rd day, Chris disappeared. The rest of the group gathered near a campfire to figure out where he could be. Paul said, "We didn't have enough firewood. I went deeper into the forest to get some. When I came back, Chris was already gone." Ashley said, "I was near the river washing my t-shirt. I stained it with ketchup during lunch." Nancy said, "I felt unwell, so I decided to take a nap. I was sleeping when an owl woke me up." One of the young people is lying. Do you know who it is?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say X. No.
It's Nancy. Owls sleep during the day. It means an owl couldn't have woken the girl. Someone started a gas leak in Mark's apartment.
During the day.
Luckily, the man noticed it. He called the police. After searching the place, they found a watch.
Oh, thanks for the
Mark claimed it wasn't his. The detective decided to set up an ambush. The watch looked expensive. Surely the criminal would return to get it back. At around midnight, they heard the key turn in the door lock. In a while, a man came in. He was holding a lit candle in his hands. At first, the detective wanted to arrest the man. But after a while, he realized it wasn't the person they had been waiting for. How did he figure it out?
Because the candle? What am I supposed to do?
Whatever the man was doing in Mark's apartment, he wasn't the one responsible for the gas leak. That criminal wouldn't have entered the apartment holding a burning candle. They would be sure the place was still full of gas. The police found out one particular gang was going to rob a bank. An undercover agent was sent to the restaurant where the criminals always gathered in the evening. His task was to attach a tiny GPS tracker to one of the gang members. Then the police would know about their location and would be able to prevent the robbery.
Thanks for the bits.
The leader of the gang was the mastermind of the group. All other members were just muscle. The undercover officer had to be very attentive around the leader. The man could easily spot the device, but no other gang member would notice it. Where should the agent place the tracker?
I don't know.
On the
Where?
gang leader's backpack.
I don't know.
He's the only person who can spot the
I didn't
device,
see the backpack.
but not if it's on his own back. Police got a call from the house of a wealthy man. He didn't come home after going for a jog. When several police officers arrived, they questioned all the people in the house. They were the maid, the millionaire's wife, and his driver. The maid said, "When Mr. Jones went for a jog, he asked me to prepare his breakfast. I immediately got down to work. But it's been 3 hours, and he hasn't returned yet." The wife was worried too. "I saw him in the morning, but he was in a hurry. We just greeted each other, and I went to work." The driver told the police he had been waiting for his boss in the car, scrolling through his social media. Who knows something about the millionaire's disappearance?
Because why would she be going to work? What? That's silly.
The maid is lying. If she had cut the apples for breakfast 3 hours ago, they would have already turned brown by now. Shirley got a new job as a sales assistant.
Well, how would she...
She was extremely happy to receive her first
That's
salary.
stupid.
She went out for a walk in the park and decided to treat
You think
herself
the
to some ice cream.
person with
She pulled
the
out
job
cash,
as a
but a
millionaire.
powerful gust of wind has blown the money out of her hands. The girl managed to pick it up, but then she realized one $10 bill was missing. Shirley looked around. One of these people must have taken the bill. Can you figure out who it was?
This guy. I don't know. No, wait.
It's the man in the red baseball cap.
Ah,
The
damn it.
bill is under his right foot.
I didn't see that.
Detective Larson was walking along the street. Suddenly, he saw a man grab an elderly woman's bag and run away. The detective immediately rushed after the criminal, but the man disappeared behind the kitchen door of a small restaurant. When Detective Larson entered, he saw 3 cooks preparing food. Which cook is fake? It's the man holding the salad bowl. He's the only one not wearing gloves. People began to disappear in a large town. 1 month after it started, the police came across an abandoned house. In its basement, they found 2 men. Each of them claimed that he had been locked up there and that the other man was the one to keep him in the basement. But it was clear that only one of them was telling the truth. Look at these men attentively and say who's the liar.
B. He looks more cleaner.
It's the man who's smiling. If he had spent 4 weeks locked up, he would have a beard and mustache by now. But he's clean shaven. Rachel Brown, the owner of a large and successful company, has disappeared right from her office. The police suspect that some of her subordinates might know where the woman is. They question 3 people. Ruth, the HR manager, is the first to enter. "We were going to fire an employee that day. I came to get Miss Brown's signature." Adam, the accountant, says, "I indeed came to her office. She had to approve the company's budget for the next year." And the secretary comes in last. "I saw Miss Brown today, but only for a minute or so. I asked her to sign my leave request." The police officers immediately realize who is lying. Can you figure it out too?
I don't freaking know. X?
Anne is lying.
Nope.
The signature on her documents is different from the others. Plus, she is the person
Oh,
Ruth
I
was
saw
going
that
to fire
too.
that
God
day.
dang it.
Martin bought a car in September, and now, just a month later, it's stolen. The police have 4 suspects, and all of them are Martin's friends. The crime happened at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. At that time, Alan was playing badminton in the park. Natalie was driving home from work. Roy was walking with his dog, and Rose was doing some grocery shopping. Who took Martin's car?
I would have to say, him. Because everyone has an alibi.
It was Alan.
Oh,
At 10
dang it.
p.m. in October, it's too dark to play
I'm bad at this
badminton.
game. I wasn't paying attention to what, whatever. I don't know. Completed.
So,
This is
you're
only
on
a
a
local
desert island and you're
local
starving.
multiplayer.
You find a bush filled with berries. You eat a few, but start to feel sick. A local, "Hey, I thought this was uninhabited." They tell you that eating watermelons and grapes will get rid of the poison, but apples and carrots will make things worse. In front of you, there are tomatoes, cabbages, oranges. Which one do you eat?
Oranges? I don't know.
Tomatoes. Like
Damn it.
watermelons and grapes, they also grow on vines, unlike the rest. You're lost in the desert with just one bottle of water, but you don't know where the nearest water source is. What do? Cover yourself with your backpack to avoid sweating? Walk as quickly as you can to find water? Find shade and rest.
Find shade and rest. Duh.
The best option is the last one. When it gets dark, you can walk further and find help. While
Exactly.
sightseeing in a town, a volcano erupts nearby. There's no lava coming out, just thick black smoke. You see 3 potential routes to safety. Which one do you take? A tall lighthouse is a few feet away, a basement,
No.
a car in front of you.
I would take a car. Wait.
Go to the basement and close the door
Of the
behind you.
basement.
Lava smoke travels fast, and it can reach the tallest point of the lighthouse.
Yep.
It's 3 p.m., and while walking in the middle of a desert, you come across a tall tower with a crazy scientist living there. He tells you that if you want to make it out alive, you must calculate the height of his tower. What do you use? Fallen tree branches? Your shadow? Your watch?
My shadow. My watch.
Your shadow. Since you know
I was gonna
how
do shadow.
tall you
God
are,
damn it.
you can calculate how many times your shadow fits into the tower shadow.
I pushed the wrong
You're
button.
at a water park, and you've been taken captive by a supervillain. He takes you to the highest point of the park and shows you 3 slides, an orange one, a green one, and a yellow one. One leads to a pool filled with acid, one to a tropical
Ew.
paradise, and the other to a volcano filled with lava. The supervillain tells you, in a parallel world, the purple slide leads to freedom. Which one do you choose?
Green? I don't know.
The yellow slide. Yellow is
I
the
didn't get-
opposite of purple.
I did not get that
You're
question
on
at
a
all.
trip into the wild. A huge angry elephant has spotted you, and it's running towards you. What do? Run down a steep slope leading to a river. Climb up a tall tree right next to you. Run straight towards some other animals, hoping it'll lose sight of you. Run down the steep slope. Elephants avoid areas with high elevation to stop themselves being injured. During a camping trip, you realize you have no water, but you're very thirsty. There are 3 ways to get water. Which one is the least dangerous? Harvest some from a cactus. Drink the water from a
Nope.
stagnant lake. Take some water from a flowing river.
The river, obviously, because you don't want no stagnant water.
Cactus water isn't the safest, and a stagnant lake is filled with bacteria and parasites. The least dangerous option is the flowing river. You've been stuck in the wild for days, and you have no idea which way leads to civilization. Which side do you follow? A plane passing overhead? A flowing river? A group of animals?
I would say the river.
Your best bet is the river. Since the beginning of time, people have built villages along riverbanks. A mysterious biologist invites you to his home for dinner. He takes you down to the basement and puts 3 plates of weird items on the table. One has wild white mushrooms with white gills.
Nope.
The second is filled with castor beans. The third has some fish brains. Which one is safe to eat?
I don't know what the hell. Not the mushrooms. I don't know what the hell that is, but I'll do that one.
The fish brains is the only dish that
Damn
isn't
it.
poisonous. But the dinner isn't over yet. You're taken into a room with 3 large tanks filled with salt water. You must stay in one of them for 5 minutes. The biologist promises to set you free if you make it out alive. The first contains 6 great white sharks. The second has 70 piranhas. The last one is filled with dangerous box jellyfish. Which could you survive in?
Oh boy. I would say the shark.
In the second tank, piranhas are freshwater fish. They can't survive in salt water.
Oh, derp.
You're leading
I
an
knew that too.
expedition to the North Pole. As you're sailing there, a huge chunk of ice falls into the water, causing a large wave to come your way. What do you tell your crew to do? Stop the ship and stay until the wave passes? Start moving in the opposite direction. Keep going and lean into the wave as it hits.
Keep going as it hits.
Leaning into the wave is the only way to get some balance. Anything else will cause your ship to capsize. You're stuck in a room that's slowly filling up with water. Help is 6 minutes away. The water will reach the ceiling in just 2 minutes. But on the floor, there's a tree branch, a straw, a bucket. Which one will buy you some time?
A bucket.
The bucket.
Oh.
Flip it over your head and it'll create an
Yeah.
air bubble that will allow you to breathe for a while. While out camping, you come across an angry brown bear that's coming closer and closer to you. What should you do? Start running as fast as you can. Fall to the
Nope.
ground and pretend you're unconscious. Stay still
Nope.
and don't move.
I'd do that one.
Fall to the ground. That way the bear won't see you as a threat. Oliver is trapped in the freezing north. David is lost in the desert without any clothes. Who will collapse first? David. The cold weather makes
Really?
Oliver shiver. His muscles tighten
Wow.
and loosen very fast to keep him warm. But David quickly becomes dehydrated in the sun. While
Nah.
walking through a dense
Okay,
jungle,
I knew that.
you get bitten on the leg by a venomous snake. How can you survive? By drawing the venom out with your mouth, washing the wound with water and a cloth, by tying your leg with a piece of your shirt.
I'd do that one. Because X doesn't work.
Tying your leg will prevent the venom from reaching the rest of your body. As you're driving down the road, you come across a fallen tree blocking your way. You get out of the car and try to move it, but then you see a huge tornado coming towards you. Boy, it's not
Oh
your day.
boy.
How will you survive? Get back in your car and drive fast in the opposite direction. Climb up the sturdiest tree, find a ditch on the ground and stay there until the tornado
No.
passes.
A, obviously. Oh, those are silly.
The last one. If the tornado passes over you, it won't sweep you up. You walk into a room, and right when you close the door, it catches fire. There's no way out, but firefighters are on their way. How will you buy yourself some time until help arrives? By lying flat on the floor, by climbing onto a chair to avoid the flames, by standing in the corner of the room.
Corner of the room? I don't freaking know.
It's the first option. Smoke travels
What?
upwards toward the ceiling, so lying flat on the
That's not
floor
what you said
will
before.
help you
That's
to
silly.
breathe. You're trapped in a maze inside an abandoned castle. You can pick only one door to stay alive. The first one leads to a room filled with sharp blades and knives. The second has dozens of venomous snakes and spiders. Behind the third door, there's an electrified moat. Which one do you pick?
Oh boy, I don't know. Snakes?
The last door.
Oh.
Since this is an abandoned castle, you can flip the light switch to check if it has electricity, and then go through there.
What a
creepy
confusing
professor has taken you to his secret island.
riddle. What the hell?
He wants to see how smart you are. He presents you with, guess what? 3 doors, but only one is safe. The first one leads to 5 of the most dangerous people on Earth. The second leads to a room with a powerful laser and mirrors on the wall. The third leads to a lab filled with radioactive waste. Which is the least dangerous option?
A? I don't know.
The first door. It'll be
What?
easier to deceive the people there into letting you walk free. You're lost in
I don't
an
understand
ancient
this
cave
question
system,
sometimes.
and you come across 3 tunnels. You must swim through them to the exit. The first is filled with lava. The second has stagnant water containing bacteria and parasites. The third contains cornstarch mixed with water. Which one is the least dangerous to go through?
Cornstarch? I don't freaking know. Obviously not lava.
Stagnant water is your best option. Lava will
What?
burn you, and cornstarch water will swallow you in just a few minutes. Good luck!
Oh. That. Oh. I'm really bad at this game. Alright, whatever. I did that one.
Charlotte and Elizabeth are doing some
Who's
homework.
not very smart?
Charlotte is going to iron some clothes, and Elizabeth is about to cook. Who's not being smart?
Because that's not.
Elizabeth. Charlotte's safe because the iron is turned off.
Yeah.
Lucas and Liam are going on a field trip with their kids. Lucas is distracted while his daughter is climbing a tree. Liam is talking to another parent while his son is petting a dog. Who is wrong? Lucas. The branch his
Damn it.
daughter is climbing is cracking, and she is about
Yeah, I
to fall.
see that, but the dog.
Ava and Olivia are
dog
finally
looks
leaving
mean.
home for their first night out after maternity leave. Ava decides to walk, and Olivia is waiting for a taxi. Who is not ready?
X.
Olivia. She forgot to finish
What?
her makeup. Michael and Logan are bloggers
the hell cares
who
about
take
makeup?
selfies
What the
in
hell? I don't get
dangerous
it.
places. This time, Michael is taking a selfie while surfing on a huge wave, and Logan is taking one standing on the edge of a bridge. Who is not smart?
Obviously him. Because people surf all the time with. Oh,
Michael. In Logan's case,
Are you serious?
at least there are people around who can call emergency services if something goes wrong. Michael is alone. It's early
why would you
morning.
be on the friggin'?
Ian
Oh my
and
god.
Nolan are driving their kids to school. Who is not smart?
B, because he's not there. What the hell?
Nolan. His child is not in the car. Jackson and Emma are volunteering at an animal shelter. Jackson is feeding the cats, and Emma is washing the dogs. Who is wrong?
I don't know.
Jackson. He gave the cats dog food by mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Scarlett and Ellie are going to bed. Scarlett kept her door open so her cat could enter during the night, while Ellie prefers to close her door. Who is not smart?
B?
Scarlett. You should always close your bedroom door at night. In case of fire, it'll stop the flames for a while and give you more time.
Hey, that's what I do.
Riley and Isabella are taking their kids to kindergarten. Riley is riding a bike with her daughter, and Isabella and her son are going by car. Who is wrong?
She's not wearing a seatbelt.
Isabella. Her child isn't wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, look at
Lily
that.
and Oliver have job interviews at 4 o'clock. Lily is ironing her best suit, and Oliver is waiting in the hallway wearing jeans. Who's not getting the job today?
Her? 'Cause she's not wearing jeans or anything
Lily.
appropriate.
She
What?
must have forgotten the time. The interview is in 5 minutes, and she's still at home.
Oh, yeah.
Sophia and Aiden are
I'm
working in the
Man, I'm
garden.
bad at this game.
Sophia is watering the flowers while her cat is walking around. Aiden is mowing the lawn while his child is playing nearby. Who's not smart?
Him. Because what if he goes on? Yeah.
Aiden. It's dangerous to use the lawnmower when children are close by. John and Brandon are making breakfast for their kids. John is making sandwiches, and Brandon is making eggs with bacon. Who is wrong?
It's off, so him.
Brandon. He forgot to turn on the stove. Thomas and Abigail are going on a date. Thomas arrived a half an hour early and decided to buy some flowers. Abigail just returned from London and is driving to meet him. Who is wrong?
Her? I don't know.
Abigail. She's driving on the left side of the road. Ryan and Kaylee
Yeah.
are having fun outside during their Christmas break. Ryan is learning how to skate on the lake, and Kaylee is skiing in the forest. Who is not smart?
Him, because it's cracking.
Ryan. The ice on the lake is cracking, and there's no one around to help him.
Derp.
Asher and Haley are enjoying their vacations. Asher is chilling at the beach, and Haley is climbing the highest mountain around. Who is not behaving wisely?
He's not having a buddy with him.
Asher. Although Haley's activity is quite risky,
Interesting.
she seems to be okay. But Asher fell asleep at the beach and is going to get a sunburn. Chloe and Avery are having some quality time on Friday. Chloe is reading a book, and Avery is watching a documentary. Who is missing something?
I don't know.
Avery. She forgot to turn off the oven, and something's burning. Hannah and Maya are meeting their friends today.
How are you supposed to see
Hannah
that?
arrived by bike and is waiting for her friend by the house. Maya arrived by car, opened the doors, and is waiting for her friend to come down. Who is not smart?
I don't know.
Maya. It's not safe to stay in the car with unlocked doors. A stranger can quickly get in the car, and she wouldn't be able to do anything from the front seat. Mason and Jacob are going on a trip to the desert, where they'll spend the whole day. Who is not adequately prepared?
Obviously, it's this guy, because he doesn't have anything to...
Mason. The sun is powerful, and he's not wearing a hat.
He's not wearing
Emily and
any
Madison are spending their time
hiking
outdoors,
stuff.
but
God,
it's not their
I don't
lucky
get
day.
that.
Emily stumbled and fell in some mud. Madison was swinging but fell. Now they both are getting up. Who made a mistake?
Her, because she's all alone.
Madison. The swing is
What?
still moving, and it may hit her head if she gets up. Aubrey and James are
Okay.
cleaning the house. Aubrey is listening to music while vacuuming the living room, and James is washing the windows. Who is not being smart?
Him. Wait. Her, because what if he can't hear?
Aubrey.
Aha!
The vacuum cleaner isn't plugged in. Mia and Ethan
I
are
didn't hear
going
that.
on summer vacation. Mia is going to Greece, and Ethan is visiting his brother in Sydney. Who is not smart?
I don't know.
Ethan. He's packed shorts and swimwear, but he won't need them because it's winter in Australia. Carter and Layla are in a hurry for work. Carter is walking while talking on his phone, and Layla is running while texting. Who's going to be late?
Her? She's not even paying attention.
Layla. She's looking at her phone and doesn't see the pit she's about to walk into. Leah and Aaron are driving to meet their friends. Leah has all of her things scattered in the car, and Aaron is traveling above the speed limit. Who is not smart?
Her? With something hits her in the head.
Leah. It's not safe to keep unprotected things inside the car. In case she stops suddenly, something can hit her very hard. William and Daniel are driving and are late for work. Who is wrong?
You're going about speed limit.
Daniel. He's driving way above the speed limit in the neighborhood. Jane and Amelia are resting in the park after running 5 miles. Jane is eating, and Amelia is drinking water from the fountain. Who is not smart?
Her. Says don't drink water.
Amelia. The warning sign says that the water isn't drinkable. Max and Ezra were driving around the desert and got stuck in the middle of nowhere. They burned a spare tire to produce some smoke. Max stayed close to the tire, and Ezra walked away in search of something helpful. Who is not smart?
Him.
Ezra. You should never leave the vehicle. Chances are the rescuers will notice the smoke and find you. But if you go, you might miss them. Both Jonathan and Savannah didn't sleep well and are starting their morning. While Savannah is preparing some coffee, Jonathan is taking out the trash. Who is doing something wrong? Jonathan. Instead of the trash, he's taking out the old toys they collected to donate. Stella and Aurora didn't study for the test. One of them decided to try her best, and the other is planning to cheat. Can you spot who's cheating?
Her.
Stella. She has a
on.
lot of bags surrounding her, so she must be trying to hide something. Miles and Cooper were walking in a park when a sudden storm erupted. Lightning struck a tree, and Miles decided to hide under it. Cooper entered a little shack nearby. Who is wrong?
This guy. What the hell? Why would you go underneath it?
Miles. The belief that lightning never strikes in the same place twice is just a common misconception. An indoor shelter is one of the best places to hide. Leo and Melanie are preparing a barbecue party. Leo is cooking and Melanie is decorating the yard. Who is not smart?
I don't know.
Leo. While he's cooking, the meat is spoiling in the direct sun.
Okay. Alright, whatever. How many are there? Oh my god.
So Dave had to sneak into his mom's computer to delete some emails he accidentally sent her. His mom had a bad memory, so she always had notes with her passcodes. Luckily, the note was right there again, saying 9868. Dave entered the passcode, but it was wrong. Why? And what's the actual passcode? The note was just turned upside down. The actual passcode is 8986. Stephanie came home after a long day at work. She was very excited to finally eat her favorite chocolate she had been dreaming about all day. But the chocolate was gone. Stephanie interrogated each of her family members. Her husband said, "I just got home from work too and haven't eaten anything all day." Her daughter Della said, "I was studying all day and didn't eat anything too." Della's twin brother Arnie said, "It wasn't me." Who ate the chocolate?
It was her, because I saw the wrapper. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Take a closer look at Della's desk. There's a chocolate wrapper, but she said she didn't eat anything. She must have lied. A grocery store manager noticed that recently they started to lose watermelons. He suggested that there's a watermelon thief coming at the store from time to time. He opened one of the security videos and could immediately tell who the thief was. Look at the picture and try to guess who is the culprit. Look at the guy in the middle. He has a ball in his hands, but he's holding it like it's very heavy. Usually, balls aren't heavy, so it must be a watermelon. Tom and Mark
Why would
came
there
to
be
the
a ball
job
in there?
audition. The company doesn't want to hire parents
watermelon,
because they need full commitment. Both men said that they're not parents, but one of them is lying. Can you tell who?
I don't know.
It's Mark. Take a closer look at his hand. There's a pink scrunchie on it. He must have done his daughter's hair before the audition. Mrs. Smith invited her neighbors over for a fancy dinner. She used her best tea set and silver cutlery and cooked a great meal. However, during the dinner, she realized that one of her neighbors is a vampire. Who is the vampire, and how did she understand it?
Oh.
The vampire is the one who brought his own plastic spoon and is eating with it instead of with Mrs. Smith's silver cutlery. That's because vampires are afraid of silver. Four friends met after the summer break and talked about how their summer went. Toby was bragging about the months he spent in Chile and how hot it was there. However, his friends didn't believe him and called him a liar. Why?
He's not tan? Wait,
Chile is located in the southern hemisphere.
I learned that from
During the
VD.
summertime, it's winter there. Toby said it was hot, which can't be true. Three friends, Blair, Chloe, and Nell, were walking all day around town. They found a beautiful but dusty house where no one lived. They entered it and started to take pictures. In the evening, they were scrolling through the pictures and one of them made a scream. Take a look at the photos and say which one scared them and why.
I don't know.
It's the first picture. There was no one in the house except for the girls, but on that picture, they're all three of them together, snapped from behind. Michelle was having a birthday party. She noticed her brother was eating in his room with some girl. However, she didn't know who it was. She got very curious, so after they left, she sneaked into his room to find some hints. There were three girls at her party, Jasmine, Sydney, and Nicole. Michelle immediately guessed who her brother was dating. Can you?
Her. With a lipstick.
Her brother was dating Jasmine. Look at the dishes and the cutlery. There's a lipstick stain on the fork. Jasmine is the only one wearing lipstick. Pamela is a lawyer and Samantha is a journalist. Can you guess which one of these women is a mother?
This one, because it has all the pictures right there.
Take a look at the background. On the wall behind Samantha, there's some colorful marker scribbles. She must be a mother. Gianna was getting ready for her date. Suddenly, the lights in her apartment went off. She was almost ready and only needed her gloves. It was dark and she couldn't find a fitted pair. She only had gloves of 2 colors, brown and black. She was already late, so she decided to leave, taking several gloves with her. How many gloves should she take with her to be sure there's a pair of the same color?
4?
She just needs 3.
Rip.
Even if the first 2 are of a different color, the third one will either be black or brown, matching the other one. A police officer was following a robber around the city. Suddenly, the robber entered the hospital and disappeared. When the police officer entered the building, there were 3 workers. One of them must be a robber who dressed up to pretend to be a doctor. Can you tell who?
No.
It's the man in the middle. Look at his badge. There's a picture of a woman on it. He must have worn the first pair of clothes he noticed. It was Christmas morning and the whole family was home. When Bailey returned in her room after watching her show on TV, she found that someone stole all the presents she had been wrapping. She questioned every person in the house. Her mom said that she had been making dinner. Her dad said he had been mowing the lawn. Her brother said he had been playing video games in his room. Who stole the presents?
Him? I don't know. Oh, wait. Why would he be mowing the lawn?
It was Bailey's dad. It's winter, and we could see that it's snowing outside. He just couldn't mow the lawn. In the Arts Museum, the lights went off for a couple of minutes. When they came back on, the most expensive painting was missing. The detective arrived and started the investigation. There were 3 suspects, and he questioned each of them. Jessica, a dance teacher, said that she had been so scared when the lights went off that she couldn't even move and for sure didn't touch anything. Derek, a journalist, said he'd been in the bathroom at the time. Collins, an engineer, said he had been in a different room of the museum, watching the dinosaur fossil. Who's lying?
I have no clue. Him?
It's Collins.
No.
It's an art museum. There are no dinosaur
Yeah, I was gonna say it's my
exhibitions.
museum.
Can you tell who's
I wasn't
not
paying
a
attention.
real werewolf?
Him.
It's actually the guy who looks like a werewolf. Werewolves only turn into wolves during the time of the full moon and at night. It's daytime now, so the guy must be just wearing a costume. Esme was having a walk in the forest. After the dawn, she tried to find her way back home, but got lost. Finally, she came across a witch's house and asked her to take her home. The witch agreed to help her, but only if Esme solved her riddle. If not, she'd have to stay with the witch forever. The witch took an apple, tied a string to it, and held it. She asked Esme to cut the string in half so that the apple didn't fall down. However, Esme couldn't touch the apple or hold it. How could she do it?
Make a knot? I don't know.
Esme should tie a knot in the middle of the string, make it into a loop, and then cut the apple. The time police have found out that there's a time traveler who uses the time machine more often than allowed. They tracked him and followed him to the Stone Age. Can you guess who's the time traveler?
He's got shoes on.
It's this guy who's wearing sneakers. Sneakers in the Stone Age? Really? Mr. Brown was robbed in the street. The culprit hit him on the right side of his head and ran away with his wallet. Mr. Brown didn't see who it was, but he noticed that the person entered a nearby hospital. When he entered, there were 3 people sitting there. Take a close look at them and tell who was the culprit.
I don't know.
Mr. Brown was hit on the right side of his face. This means that the robber is left-handed. Look at where the bags stand next to those people. The first woman has her purse on the left side of her, which means it must have been her. For her birthday, Sienna got a beautiful hairpin. She brought it to school and showed it to her friends during lunch. Then she left for the bathroom, and when she returned, the hairpin was gone. Take a look at the pictures before and after and tell which of her friends stole it.
I know.
Look at the glass of juice of the red-haired girl. It looks like there's
Too late.
more juice on the later picture. No, there's not. She just put a hairpin in the glass. Mr. Green got in a car accident and spent a month in the hospital. He got amnesia and partially forgot things. He didn't have any family, and after a month, he finally returned home. He found his street, but then he realized he didn't remember which of the two houses was actually his. Can you guess which one it was?
It's X, obviously. Snow on the ground and all crap.
His house is the one where the snow is unshoveled. He spent a month in the hospital and lives alone, so no one could clean the driveway. Look at the Christmas photos of two families. Can you tell which family is poor? The poor family is the second one. Even though the son has a big present, the parents don't have any presents at all. They probably couldn't afford to buy presents for themselves.
We know you could. Alright. Fight one.
Okay, stay with me here. You are running down a corridor with 3 doors looming ahead of you. You hear the blood-chilling sounds of a vampire, mad scientist, and mutant animals all chasing after you. You have to choose one of the doors right away. The sounds are getting closer and closer, and boo, gotcha! Do you have the quick problem-solving skills to survive any dire situation? Well, take this test and find out. Hey, keep track of how many you get right. Your results will be at the end. Number 1. A vampire attack. A hungry vampire is following you on a lonely street one dark night. Suddenly, you see a house with its door wide open and decide to hide there. The vampire can't enter your shelter, but is patiently waiting outside. However, you still have some hope. There are 3 tunnels leading out of the house. But inside the first tunnel, there's molten lava. The walls of the second tunnel keep closing every 10 seconds, crushing everything that gets inside. As for the third tunnel, its floors are so rotted and weak that the slightest weight will collapse them and send you falling down into an abyss. What should you do? You have 10 seconds to figure it out.
What? I don't know. Oh, A.
Hey, just wait till morning. Vampires can't stand daylight, and your pursuer will have to leave you alone. Number 2, a virus. A terrible virus broke free from a laboratory, and now all animals and plants on Earth are mutating at a horrifying speed. You've been trying to find the solution, but instead got trapped in a lab where it all started. There are 3 doors you can escape through. Are you starting to see the pattern? But behind the first one, there are some aggressive flesh-eating cacti. The second door hides hundreds of extremely poisonous bees, and the third door prevents an attack from now fire-breathing cheetahs. Which door can lead you to freedom? Use your 10 seconds wisely.
I don't know.
You can get out of there alive if you choose the first door. Even though the cacti eat flesh, they're still plants and can't move, so you can easily get around them. Number 3. Which lever? This time you've been captured by a mad scientist. He's probably the one who came up with that last virus. Anyway, he's locked you in a cage, but he left you a chance to escape. All you have to do is choose one of 3 levers on the wall next to you. The first lever lets hungry wolves into the cage. The second fills the cage with water. And the third lever sends a mechanism at the top of the cage crashing down toward the floor, threatening to squish you like a bug. Ew! Which lever should you opt for to survive?
Let's say A, just because you can slip through.
Your only choice is the second lever. Yeah, it's supposed to fill the cage with water, but all the liquid will flow out through the bars of the cage. The scientists should have thought that one through a little better. Number 4. A persistent pursuer. So, remember the vampire you managed to escape from some time ago? Bad news. It's nighttime again, and he's back on your trail. You managed to get to a room with not 1, not 2, but 3 buttons. When you press the first one, a bolt of lightning will strike the vampire. By pressing the second button, you'll make the room fill with treasures, golden and silver coins, dishes, and jewelry. You'll be able to hide among them. And the third button will point several lenses, concentrating sunlight at the vampire. Which button should you press? Think fast, he's coming.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. You can do this one, because it's silver. Because the third one is not,
Lightning won't kill the vampire, and there's no sunlight at night. But silver hurts vampires when they touch it, so hiding in those silver coins is the best idea. Number 5. The dive of your life. You're diving in the ocean when you come across a beautiful underwater cave network. But soon enough, you get yourself lost and end up with just 3 tunnel exits to choose from ahead. In the first, you see a huge basking shark with a mouth big enough to gulp you up like a peanut. The second is swarming with box jellyfish, the most venomous species in the world. The third tunnel is extremely long, and your oxygen tank probably won't make the journey. So, which tunnel do you choose? Your 10 seconds start now.
I would probably the shark, because sharks are not, I don't know. I'm probably gonna be
Go
A.
with the first tunnel. Despite their huge size and scary-sounding name, basking sharks are totally harmless to humans. Number 6. An escape plan. You're locked in a room. Again? You really should be more careful. And guess what? Yes, one of 3 doors is your escape route. Behind the first door, there's a crocodile that hasn't eaten for 2 years. The second door hides a lion that's been hungry for almost 2 weeks. And behind the third door, there's a red-hot desert. Which door leads to freedom?
I would say X, because hasn't eaten for 2 years.
Well, before you
silly.
assume those predators are long gone after starving like that, think again. Crocodiles can go up to 3 years without food, and lions can do the
What?
same for 2 weeks. So yeah, they're still alive, and you must look absolutely delicious to them. Just wait till the
Interesting.
desert cools off at night
I did
and
not know
leave
that.
through the third door. Number 7. An ice castle. Well, you find yourself stuck in an ice castle. Surprise, surprise. There are 3 doors you can escape through. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But behind the first door, you'll encounter an angry bear. Behind the second door, it's so cold you'll be frozen on the spot. And the corridor behind the third door is filled chest high with water, swarming with piranhas. Which door will you choose?
I don't know. Piranhas?
Now, if it's an ice castle, then the water behind the third door will also be frozen. Just climb on top of it and crawl out. Poor fishies, though. Wait a minute, they're piranha. Number 8. The Mad Scientist's Magic Lotion. Yes, he's back, and he's kidnapped you. The scientist wants to test his new protective cream on you. After covering you with his magic lotion, which you absolutely don't trust, he makes you choose one of 3 containers to jump in. One of the containers is filled with radioactive waste. In the second container, there's acid that can eat through metal. The third one is filled with lava from a volcano that destroyed a whole town a year ago. Which container will it be? You have 10 seconds to decide.
Why would there be lava still in the... No. I'll just do lava.
A.
Oh,
Pick
wow.
the container with lava. If the volcano erupted a year ago, the lava will already be solid and cool. Number 9.
Then I already picked...
Locked in a room.
I picked it though, what the
Well,
hell?
since you just outsmarted the scientist, he decides to throw you in a room. You can only escape your dungeon through a hatch in the ceiling. Why are you asking? Yes, there are 3 of them. But upon opening the first hatch, you'll be met by a nest of venomous snakes. A tank of boiling water is on top of the second hatch. And on the third hatch, there's that really hungry lion still waiting for a meal. He's recycling the prizes here. Pretty smart, huh? So, which hatch should you pick to escape when the villain falls asleep?
I don't know. Snakes?
Yeah, choose the second one, because the boiling water will eventually evaporate. Number 10. A mutant beast. So, back to
Okay.
the virus that escaped from the lab.
Whatever.
This virus has turned some innocent animals into horrifying monsters. One of them has the bottom part of a mantis and the top part of a hammerhead shark. The second one is even more bizarre, an ape with an iguana's head. And the third one is a tiger with the head of an elephant. You have to fight one of these animals in an arena. Yes, you do. So, which one will you choose to increase your chances of survival?
Bug, obviously.
Choose the mantis with the shark's head. Sharks can't breathe on land, so the monster won't even make it long enough for the fight to begin. Number 11. An angry rhino. You're a plastic surgeon and you just finished a bad nose job and the patient is furious with you. No wait, that's rhinoplasty. Never mind. You're really on an African safari when, there's a furious rhino straight ahead and it's about to charge. Will you try to scare the animal away by shouting and trying to look intimidating? Or will you hide in the bushes or behind a tree? Maybe you can outrun it. You've got 10 seconds before this guy makes a pancake out of you.
Probably hide because they can't see that bad. They can't see. They have poor vision. I don't know.
The only effective way to
Ah,
escape
Jesus.
an angry rhino is to hide behind a tree or in the bushes. These animals have
That's what I
really
did.
poor eyesight, and if you
Did I push the
hide,
wrong button?
they'll soon forget about you. And no,
God
you
damn it.
can't outrun a charging rhino. They have a credit card. Charging
Oh,
rhino, get it?
goodbye.
Number 12. A room without
Push the wrong button
windows.
again.
Well, they must have a
Dang
map.
it.
Okay, I'll stop. You're trapped in a room that's slowly getting filled with water coming from a faucet in the wall. There are no windows in the room, and the door is sealed shut. You have a mop and a big bucket. So, how are you going to get yourself out of this one?
Use that thing.
Hey, just turn the faucet off. Yeah.
Duh. Still breathing. I did bad that round. Oh man, I got so many more of these things. That's a lot of them. Maybe I'll play them later, because I'm getting tired. Man, that's a lot. Multiplayer. Oh. This is only a local multiplayer, not online multiplayer. But I'm thinking I'm going to bed. I'm getting tired. But yeah, pretty interesting game. I'm very bad at these games, but some of these questions are confusing as hell. But pretty fun game. But I think I'm going to bed because I'm getting tired. And yeah. Alright, well, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Adios, amigos and amigas. Bye, have a good night.